in terms of leadership, I think a person who's an individual contributor knows what I do contributes, and directly I can be, credit can be apportioned to me because of that. But leadership, it's not about me. It's how do I empower people around me to drive forward, and it's less about who I am, more about who they are. And so I remember this because the first time that I led, and I was speaking in the context of Duka, the Duka team, they thought it's about me. So they would come and say, hey, so should we do this? And I'll tell them, what do you think? And they're like, why don't you tell me? And I'm like, no, actually, you tell me. And you get this back and forth, sort of forcing the person to bring out what they think we should do. And of course, there's a bit of guidance. And then at some point, the person has gotten it. It's sort of giving them the wings to fly and saying, you can do this. Why don't you go for it? And of course, mistakes happen, but it's not bashing or rather bashing situation. It's opportunities to learn and to say, hey, what did you learn about that? And of course, I wouldn't start you off by saying, hey, what do you think the strategy of the year should be? But I'll start you off with, what do you think the operation tactics of this particular quarter should be? And why don't you lead that? Why don't you see what we unlock? And then we come back, learn from it. So I think it has a lot to do with people, knowing people. So it starts with, I know the past people around me, and I know I can put them in this situation, not this other particular situation. And soon as that is their strength, cover their six or could be their developmental areas, well, as opposed to weakness. And then allowing them sort of to thrive within those areas. And then the confidence builds in these teams. And then it starts becoming less about me, more about them, because they know, hey, so long as I do a good job, I have the backing of my leader. And then now for me, I can focus on the bigger things, which is scouting forward, seeing how that looks, and placing people that are capable to be able to drive those projects.
As you think about leadership at scale, let's turn away from the folks that work for you on the team, and now discuss the folks that you built the business with, built Duka with. So how do you break up the roles and responsibilities with your co-founders now, and then how do you think about that in the future?
So the roles of the co-founders were to take the most important or critical aspects of the business. So for me, I've spent the last 5 years when I was at DHL doing strategy, driving new markets and growing new markets. So I knew what my forte was and where I could even contribute more. Davis is an engineer. He likes building, he loves building, and we build a team around him, and then he drives. Dudu, on the other hand, is a people development guru. She looks at how can I create a great team around Victor and around the company. So initially it was around myself, the team that could be the department heads. And so that has been the role. So at scale, Dudu and I, we've agreed, the two of us, to do is to spend more time with 60% of the workforce, at the very least, to 100%. And I know when I say 60%, I don't mean, hey, I know you, but do I know you? Do I know your wife? Do I know your children? What do you really aspire to do? What is your biggest strength? And when I say what's your biggest strength, also what's your biggest fears, and sort of develop that leader to drive forward the conversation. One of the things that we do is aptitude test about who are you, right? And it's not to use that against you. It doesn't even go to many people. It's just me and the chief operations officer. And the idea is to know the people that are under us, what are the things that they really care about, what are the things that they need to develop on, and then manage them. So at scale will not be the operations of the day-to-day, but it will be more of the guidance of the teams and driving on the vision.